or limited internet access for them to purchase if they don't have the money. Again, I don't know if the teachers would want to buy them a book, or would the PCA would kind of get together and give families that want to but can't a percentage. But then again, that's another conversation and another meeting as well to do. So I'm just thinking like maybe right now something that maybe the kids would want to read, and inside on-site kids could read it at the school.
Good. Question about the school, because I haven't really been on top of all of that. So there's going to be five. It's going to be 5 days a week, but they're still going to be doing virtual as well, or like how? Okay.
So they have it that whoever was on site is now offered 5 days a week versus the 3 days a week.
Okay.
And then whoever still wanted to be fully remote will still stay fully remote.
Got it. So I think going with the idea, this is just kind of my brain just at the moment thinking about the spare change stuff, that the spare change, I don't know if this was already mentioned, that the spare change goes to buying books that are put on the classroom wish list. So all spare change that is donated, because that's something that is specific, that you can say, if you donate your spare change, will go to directly to classroom wish list, because now it's a specific thing. Parents know exactly where that extra change is going. And it's not just saying just donate back to the PTA per se, but actually that spare change will go to helping purchase books for in class and for teacher recommendations, that they want a child to have a specific book. Maybe they're doing a read aloud, and the teachers for virtual has a specific book that they're reading, and the kids at home could follow along because they also have the book, something like that. Because I know kids really like teacher recommendations, is something that I was reading about. Also, I put the link for ways to promote the book fair. So I think it would be nice. I mean, teachers could talk about the book and recommend it, and then it could be a book that is purchased through the wish list for the classroom, but also something that parents could buy um, through the e-wallet for the kid outside of that. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, like kind of like when you go to a store and you see like staff recommendations, and you're like, oh, I never tried a Merlot, but Stacy said it's good, so I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, because usually teachers have like a favorite book and they like to talk about it. They read it, and they read it multiple times. And a lot of the times, kids don't have that book at home. And I know a lot of kids are reading the books through Epic, but to have a physical book, it would be nice that they could read and follow along the pages and actually see.
All right, cool. So maybe the best way to go about this, because there's a couple different ideas floating around, is to share this with Darlene and get her feedback on what she think might be the easiest for the teachers to do. Like, you don't want to add work for them, but I feel like Darlene might have a better sense of like what the teachers might like to do, and also what parents are more in need. Like the staff has a sense of which parents need donations versus others, I would say. There's also like there's ways to do like little polls and stuff like that to say, this is our book fair. At the end of our book fair, we're raising money, so at the end of the book fair, for those who need some extra support, you can reach out to us, blah blah blah. But we might not be able to decide it tonight. Liz, you were gonna say something?
I was just thinking, I know that if I tell my kid, like, there's a book fair, she'll be like, okay. But if her teacher said there's a book fair, she'd be like, oh my God, we have to go right now. And so, yeah, I think like if we ask the teachers when you talk it up with your class, also just say like, and they're selling my favorite book and this is the title, just like that in and of itself would really push her to go buy that. So it wouldn't even be like on some official list. It's just like, as you're thinking about how you communicate with your students, add in what you think they should be telling their parents to get them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. So maybe we'll come back to that one, because I feel like there's a lot of ideas that I could go around with that point. So I kind of went over how the online store works. Well, not specifically. Let me show you. So I'm going to screen share real quick. Hold on. Okay, so what you're looking at is our book fair website interface. So this is how, when someone clicks on the link that we're going to give them, which is, let me show you how specifically, it's scholastic.com/BF book fair/Star Academy. It takes them to this site. And so here they can see, you know, when the book fair is happening. They can set up their e-wallets. And then once the book fair goes live, which will be, technically it's going to go live on Monday, but we're saying February 3rd. So I got to adjust these dates. So technically it's Monday, but February 3rd is when we're launching it, because we wanted to be able to look at how the online book fair works before we start really pumping it out to parents, because I don't know why they can't just make it like a 24, 48 hour window where we can view the store, but whatever, it's something with their back end. So we won't be able to actually see the virtual store until Monday, but that will be the link there that they could click through to with the, and this is the virtual book fair. So if they want to do that cool interactive book fair where they're walking around. And then at the bottom, there's a goal. We still got to brainstorm how to set up what goal we want to set. So this would be the way they interact with it. And it's fairly straightforward. It's there was not much customization we could do to this outside of the text. So we just kind of put like some basic stuff to keep people oriented.
That's the theme.
What was that?
Is this the theme?
Oh, so they don't actually have a theme right now. They had this like time travel theme if you were doing an in-person book fair, which was they didn't even plan it to be time travel. It just kind of like worked out on their schedule, but it was very convenient.
Time travel.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is just like the generic look that it has.
Okay.
So again, the other things that we have to remember is that only on books are we seeing a percentage on. So if people buy accessories or not, you know, non-book merchandise, we don't get any of that percentage split, which is different from when we do it in person. That's just something to think about. So hold on one second. Where's my chat? I got too many windows open.
Do we know how many books we sold on last year in total for the school? Is that like a number that we have on hand?
Yeah, so we can go into that next. So 325 books is with the goal of 2,600. I don't know how they get I guess it's the average book cost, comes out to 325. So that was just a number I put in there. But of course we can change it, raise it, lower it. What we've done in past sales, so this is a breakdown. So this was our last winter sale. If y'all can see that, we sold nearly 4,000. That's what I was thinking. And we saw a big percentage split because we got that high end 55% of the split. The year prior to that, only a $2,000 book fair. That was in the spring prior to last year. So none of us were around for that book fair, or rather weren't working on it. So it was actually a dip because prior to that, they had a pretty successful one back in the fall of that school year. There was like, for those who don't know, the PTA, there was a big changing of guard in the middle of the year. There was actually a lot of drama around this book fair in October where money kind of went missing. And there was this whole like investigation launched by the city. A bunch of the PTA members left the PTA. And then it was really just like a skeleton crew that ran the PTA in the spring of 2019. But generally, the way that Scholastic said is that it's usually when you're getting the 2 to 3 book sales per year is a momentum builder. And so the guy that we work with at Scholastic, he's really, really cool. And he's also very in tune with like equity and getting, helping build book fairs in low income schools and all that kind of stuff. He said that, I forget which grade school it was one of the Title I schools in our district, but they were raising, it got to the point where they were doing around $10,000 in sales per book fair, because they were using creative ways to get like outside people to participate, as a way to raise money for the school, which we could do a lot of now because it's all virtual. So yeah, so in any case, so 4,000 is what we did last winter. And then I just brought it down to 2,600 to kind of be a little bit higher than that book sale that we did prior to that, but it could be higher or lower,
Can I ask a
depending on what
question?
people think. Yeah.
With the Scholastic dollars that we have, can we purchase the books for the teachers if they have for their wish list? Did I say that right? Wish list, yeah. Would that be an option too?
Yeah, definitely. Like whatever. I mean, we have that. You see it right there, $3,000 worth basically of balance. We have to use it. It's just sitting there being unused. So last year we were thinking about, we know Mrs. Wolf needed some new book carts and things like that. And we were talking to Jody and Darlene about like, is there anything cool that you would like us to purchase with our Scholastic dollars? So that's just a follow-up meeting that we should have. We should definitely start using it though. But of course, it all has to be is a proposal that maybe we could set as a committee, but we would present it to the larger PTA and then vote on it at a general meeting. So maybe after we get out of the Scholastic Book Fair, we can be like, hey, everyone, we have $4,000 in balance. How do we want to start using this? And maybe a good portion of that is helping subsidize some of those families that can't afford the books. So what do you think about in terms of the goal? Do you think that 2,600 is a little bit too ambitious for people?
I want to say yes, maybe no, only because we really don't know within families how many families are still employed to actually really purchase as many books as we did last year. So I want to say like a middle number should be good. And that shouldn't be, because you said, oh, I'm trying to scroll down and it's your screen.
Me too.
You see, I'm like, so yes, I guess.
I was thinking 2,500 to start.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least 25 to start, yeah. Only because you really don't know how everybody is. Because I was already kind of planning like with the teachers' wish list to like, depending on how many books they had on the wish list, to like, I don't want to say buy out their wish list, but to just buy a majority as like a thank you for everything for the year kind of they've done for us.
Yeah.
Since we physically can't give them anything or see them, kind of situation.
Does anybody know how much 2,600 divided by 325 is? Because maybe that's the way we can look at it. Like, what's the average book sale that Scholastic is saying here?
Where's my calendar? How do I exit out of the screen?
I don't got my calculator in front of me.
I know, I'm trying to find it on
2,600 divided by 325.
No, that's my calendar. Okay, my phone is right.
Oh, it's $8. So basically, what Scholastic is saying is that the average book is $8. We have around 200 families right now at Star. So not every family is going to participate.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably be safe
on families with double students like me. I know last year I spent well over the $150 on books for the fun of the kids. So
yeah, for sure. Well, we have 200 families. I think it's probably safe to say probably around like 25% will participate. And that's probably on the higher end. I just think about like, how much engagement we get on Class Dojo with posts and stuff like that, and how many people are really like in tune. We have, I think it's only like 13% of the student body or something like that that's going to school physically, and then people who are participating in hybrid learning. So if we say like out of the 200 families, that probably 50 families are going to participate.
I think then we should decrease the goal to probably like 1,500. honestly, if you're looking at those numbers. And $8 a book, if they buy at least one book, I don't know.
Right. Because if we did 1,500, if say we're doing 50 families, if that's the math that we're thinking, and out of the 50, to get 1,500, it would have to be a $30 average purchase.
Yeah.
Which is probably where it's going to be if people are trying to save on shipping and are buying 2 to 3 titles. So 1,500 might be a more realistic goal.
Yeah.
And the good thing too is if we set 1,500 and if we do better, it's great. It just looks great. You don't want to set a goal too high and then you're like, we're only 5% towards our goal.
Yeah. Just doing the math, I think that's probably the best way we can go about it. And then you increase it like we did last year, because when we hit a goal and then the excitement increased and we posted on Dojo and said, hey, we hit it, and you show, you know, the increase with like graphics. I know Liz was talking about that, putting graphics and stuff up. It's very engaging and people get excited. I know the kids do anyway. They get excited about that stuff. So that would be cool. Oh, I'll be right back.
All right. I think that sounds good. Everybody feel good with that number to start with, the 1,500?
Yeah, because then that is including the shipping. Like you want to average it that you have to spend the 25 to get free shipping. There's no minimum, but then you're paying shipping. So they would probably spend more, not because I know I try to do that. I buy like the cheapest pencil just to put me over that $25 mark so I get my shipping.
Yeah,
it's like
I think that's a big
$8.
deal. Yeah, for books, they get heavy. For sure. Okay, so we can start with 1,500 and we also can adjust it as we're in. Ooh, got an echo there. Let me see. Where is the echo coming from? I think it was Liz's. Got an echo. It's all good. So yeah, 1,500, and then we can adjust it in the middle. If it's like looking like we're not even getting close to that, we can bring it down lower and make it a more realistic kind of thing. The cool thing is that it's all virtual, so there's no real loss that we're taking. You know, it's all good kind of thing. But it's good to have a goal because then we can say, okay, if we're doing 10 days of book fair and our goal is 1,500, then that means, is that $15? I mean, $150 a day, right? 10 days, 1,500. I'm like, so $150 a day. That's a good thing for us to check in. So like on a daily basis, like, hey, today we made $120 in sales. We made $200 in sales. It's a good way to keep us on track. So we can know, all right, if we only made like $30 in sales and we have a daily sales goal of $150, what do we need to do? Do we need to put out some more social media posts? Do we need to, how do we mix it up? So it's good to have those goals. All right, cool. So then the next point on the agenda is talking about our outreach strategy. So you may have already seen earlier in the week, we put out an announcement. Scholastic Book Fair is coming next week on Class Dojo. We also shared it on the Facebook group page that we have, which doesn't really get that much engagement, but we just shared it there to repurpose it. We don't have an Instagram account currently because of privacy issues and stuff like that. We've went back and forth over the years of whether we should shut up an Instagram and other social medias. But, since we have a lot of families who are in sensitive housing situations or, those kind of things, we gotta keep those in consideration. So we only have our Facebook and our Class Dojo, and then our email listserv. So we have a PTA parent listserv, but it really is only the parents who have participated in PTA meetings. So it's like our core PTA membership, which is really only like 25 people. But Jody and Darlene have a bigger listserv. So I reached out to Jody. I reached out to Darlene rather, saying like, once the book fair launches, are we able to, are you able to send messages on our behalf via that email listserv that they have? So waiting to hear back from Darlene. She thinks that's appropriate, using the listserv for those reasons. But that's kind of like what we can do outreach with. So with those things in consideration, we put out on Class Dojo a post that the Scholastic Book Fair is coming next week. And now we're in the process of doing a 5-day countdown of the book fair. Let me actually show it to y'all. Go ahead.
So staying on the topic of like promoting of the book fair, are we putting on the school website the book fair information outside of parent emails? I know you're going to use Facebook because that's what we have. Because I know some people go to the actual school website. I mean, I don't know if you're going to promote it on there, but that might be a good idea. Also, for people, we could encourage people who do have like their own social media to post the image of our book fair on our social media to help support, hey, help support my school in raising money, or buy books, or these are the buy books for the school and the students here at STAR, so we can promote it on our end through our own personal social media accounts. That's probably a good idea as well. Just like a suggestion, not like telling families, oh, post it, like it's a soft suggestion, but we could also do that at our own end, because other people that we may know will buy books, to support the school. That's a way to also bring the revenue up outside of just asking parents to spend money. I know there's people that they know, or friends and family relatives, people who are separated from their families, and they want to probably give gifts to the kids, especially if it's books. People always like, educational stuff. That might be a good idea.
So maybe we should take a step back then, because that you bring up a good point. If we want to incentive, because, at the end of the day, the reason that we do fundraisers as a PTA is so that we have PTA funds to support PTA activities, whether that be like having events at the school, buying stuff for the school in terms of materials, hiring people to run courses for parent support, all that kind of stuff, right? So I think what we need to do is we need to think about, what is this? How are we what are we saying that this is raising money for? I think sometimes it gets a little problematic when we say, oh, we're just raising money for the PTA. And people are like, oh, but what's that being used for? Not like they think that we're being sketchy, but it's not really a motivator if it's not like a specific thing. So maybe we can brainstorm that. What are some things that we think that we know are going on around the school, or might be needs of parents at our school, that we could say, or students, that we could say, hey, we're raising money for this. Examples are like our Candygram that we do every year is usually a direct fundraiser to raise money for the 5th grade graduation, senior trip and graduation stuff. And that raises a lot of money. Like last year we raised like, I don't know, like $2,000, something like that. Jenny would know. But because people are like, oh, this is to support the 5th graders. Maybe that's what we want to do this year. Like maybe since the 5th graders aren't having a senior trip, maybe we make a yearbook. It hasn't been done before at STAR, but maybe we raise enough money so we can commission somebody to do a cool yearbook for the kids as their parting gift for the year.
I was also thinking too, since they're going to junior high school, is it?
Middle school.
Making them is middle school.
You aging yourself, girl.
We talked about this. We talked about this.
That's the 90s. What are you talking about?
Like, I don't know. To give them like a school readiness backpack, or a school readiness like a handoff, like here you go. I don't know if they will want that, because they're a little older and stuff. But we graduating out, with the little ones, you give them a book bag with a pencil and stuff like that, something personal or even personalized for them, since they really can't have a trip.
Did we do, or maybe not we, did the school do anything for the 5th graders last year when they missed out on? No. I know.
No, but we do have that Candygram money that was raised. So I'm not sure what the 5th grade teachers did with it.
Okay. At my school last year, and I was so pleased that it was such a hit with the kids, is every kid in the class drew like a tiny little like doodle that represented them. And then we printed them all on a hoodie so that it was like every kid was on there. And I see kids like around the neighborhood, like they're in 6th grade now, still wearing their sweatshirt, which was really nice, versus like ones that just said the school name. I feel like they like outgrew, right? So that felt nice because they couldn't like sign, you know, whatever kids sign at the end of school and stuff. But yeah, I think something for the fifth graders would be really nice.
We know what's his name from neighborhood school that he has his own printing company. I don't know if he's still doing that, but he, you know, partnership there. That would be cool.
Yes, we've been all about outreach and partnershiping with people.
Yes. All right, cool. All right, so maybe we can check in with Dardine and Jody too, and see what they would think would be a cool thing for the fifth graders, a yearbook or a sweater or, you know, something like that. And I think that would make our book fair more successful. So when Jenny was talking about all the different ways that we could encourage parents and families to share this stuff on social media, that's how we incentivize it. Like, hey, can you share this, because we're trying to raise money this year to support our graduating class, and you know they're not going to have the same kind of graduation as they would have prior to the pandemic. So yeah. Oh, and for those who don't know, Liz is also a vice principal. That's why I was asking her. She's vice principal at East Village Community School. I didn't even know that until like a couple months ago. I was like, oh, I know you.
But we are going to be doing raffles, right? Because I think that this is going to help kids to really, you know, you got to give. I know Scholastic was giving books before. I don't know if they're giving like stuff away again, but I think we have enough funds to be able to purchase a few books to raffle. You know, kids like that stuff. It creates a lot of excitement, especially now that we're at a virtual book fair. So maybe, because I sent the link out, but I don't know how many people read it. So I'm just kind of going off of some points that are here. They talk about creating a book fair, a book scavenger hunt for your virtual book fair to add excitement. I don't know really what that would entail, or what that even looks like, a virtual scavenger hunt. But I know doing a raffle for a book to anyone who does like competes in an activity would be nice. So you're doing some activities around the, you know, maybe there's a specific book that like kids like, and there's like an activity that we can associate with that. And so you give a book away for free for the kid or kids that complete the activity. So there's engagement. There's not just people buying books, but there's some stuff that kids can plug into during the book fair since it's no longer in person. Just a thought.
No, yeah, it's good. I wanted to share something with you real quick. Yeah, see this image now is the new screen I pull up. It says important at the top or something like that. So this was actually the email that was sent to us by our Scholastic Book Fair rep. And it's kind of speaking to some of the stuff that Jenny was talking about. So it talks about, you know, like good reminders is on how to advertise for the book fair, and then start promoting your book fair, blah, blah, blah. Walking students through the virtual 360. That's that virtual book fair that we're going to be doing that on Wednesday of next week with Darlene. She's going to be partnering us with that. Adding a goal to your homepage, which we talked about, but maybe also now we can talk about what the goal is specifically working towards. The raffle, open a raffle or incentive to promote shopping. The way that Scholastic does their raffle is like, they have like 8 different categories of books or something like that. And if you, however many categories you get like that many raffle chances. So it's kind of like a capitalist kind of incentive, which I'm not down for. Because then it's like the kids who have more money get better chance to get pulled in the raffle, which is kind of backwards. So we did do a raffle. Maybe it's like that wish list that we're asking the teachers to make in each class. Maybe we can buy a copy of each of those books, and then through the PTA funds. And then we're doing our readathon in March. Maybe for all kids that participated in the readathon, that enters them into get some of these raffle prizes, and it could be some of these books that are recommended by teachers.
Talking about a raffle to hold books up until March.
Yeah, like because we would be making the purchase of the stuff after the book fair is over, right? Are you talking about a raffle
I'm
during
talking
the
about
actual book fair?
raffle during the actual book fair, but I also think that's a really great idea to do a raffle to have something for the readathon, because you want to get kids engaged. If they are enjoying it, maybe the parents will be more inclined or to purchase books and things like that if they find that the kid is actually into it, you know,
Yeah.
versus just buying books and then it just kind of, you know, you're just buying just to buy. I don't know. That's just an idea.
Do we know, besides Miss Cameron doing the virtual tour, are the teachers gonna do it with remote? Do we know?
So no, so the virtual tour is only like a 3 or 4 minute tour. So basically what we're doing on Wednesday is that we're gonna record Darlene taking the parents through this virtual tour, and we're gonna use that recording to send to every parent. But the reason we're using Darlene is because everyone knows and trusts Darlene, and Darlene, you know, is very good at explaining stuff. So then we would use that on Class Dojo. Teachers could send that directly to the parents. It would be like an ongoing resource. And then after we record her doing the virtual tour, we'll use the remainder of the half hour that we're together next Wednesday to answer any kind of questions that parents might have. So yeah, it wouldn't be every teacher, which could get chaotic if you ask every teacher to do their own separate recording.
No, I meant like showing it in their remote sessions, because everybody is remote. Everybody's remote Thursday and Friday, so everybody has to be there. So all the kids are there Thursday and Friday. So if they were, so now instead of them doing the recording, they can actually play Miss Cameron, like, hey, before we do closing or ending of closing circle, they could play the thing so that everybody, since they're online Thursday and Friday, could see this recording, especially next week since we're closed, since SAR is closed. So that'd be literally out to everybody, since everybody has to be virtually.
Yeah, so we can ask Darlene and Jody if they can share it with the teachers, and ask the teachers to share it in their morning meetings or on their Google Classroom interface. Also, too, Jody said that we can advertise it at the pep rally next Friday. So we can use that video to use at the pep rally. So Jenny, just a quick question on the scavenger hunt raffle kind of thing. How do you think that could work during the book fair?
Like doing this, I would have to think about it a little bit more, because I just thought it was, from reading what they had on the Scholastic website, I thought it would probably be something that the kids might be into. So I could like think about it a little bit more, like brainstorm. And by all means, if anybody else may have some ideas on building upon that, let me know. We could do it together.
Yeah, what about the prep rally? Because, you know, they do scavenger hunts and all that and stuff. And all the kids are online when you have Miss Freeman on there. So she's always doing something. So because all the kids on there, you could set something up and there you go. And the kids will get excited with that, you know?
Oh, that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
Would they give us like a few minutes to be able to, like, you know, incorporate that into the pep rally outside of this video?
Yeah, I'm sure Jody would be down for that.
Okay. I think that's fantastic. Cool. And that's an easy way to just plug it in. There you go. Well, solved. Good thinking, Marina. That's quick. Because honestly, I haven't really been too plugged into, because my work schedule is really crazy.
Yeah. So but when you started talking about the raffle and the scavenger, I'm like, wait, we actually been doing that in the prep rally where the kids are grabbing stuff, and she'd be like, okay, grab something white, and they're running around. You got my son doing all that crazy, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Oh, and then I realized all the kids are actually participating, and she's, you know, getting them, you know, going with that. So yeah.
So the thing is that how will we choose then the kids or that win, like a scavenger hunt, you know? That's the thing. Like, you raffle a free book, maybe they have to put it in the chat. Somebody has to monitor the chat or something like that.
Or it could be something as simple. Go ahead.
Yeah, they could do like also too. You have the pinwheel thing with the kid's name on it, and you could do that, you know, or let's say that class, okay, that class is one's this, you know, things like that, you know.
Okay.
Going off of for Marina, you know how they with the scavenger hunt, instead of like monitoring, so this is the scavenger hunt. Everybody grab a this or this or this or this, and take a picture and send it, and
Yeah.
maybe that would be more controlling, monitor control, instead of like, okay, chat, and somebody be like, oh, it's unfair, you didn't see my answer and I said it before Jenny did, and
Yeah.
Jenny got the book kind of situation. So we could just do it like that through the picture, and
That's my main concern. Like, how do you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, make a list of everybody that sent it in. Everybody, this is who sent the picture, and no, okay, send your picture, and then everybody's name is in the pot, and then have like a live drawing of whose name gets pulled out the pot. But I don't know if we want to do it by class so that each class has their book, or just age appropriate, because you have all the, you know, the kids. So we have to like really do it age appropriate so that was it pre-K to 5th grade can still all do it at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. I think if we connect with Jody too, she might have like ideas of how to deliver it, because she has some experience with it. But also too, it could be like, if you do the scavenger hunt, if you participate, that qualifies you for the raffle, something like that. And then we could do raffle drawings the whole next week, like every day. Today we're doing the 5th grade raffle drawing. Tomorrow we're doing the 4th grade raffle drawing.
Yeah, and we could have the kids, when they get their book, take a picture, and then we could post it onto Dojo with them with their raffle prize. That's always exciting. I don't know. I just think about engagement. And
kids are always down for stuff. It's just the parents that are like, oh, okay. So hopefully we get more parent engagement as well, since we're actually hyping the kids up for it.
I mean, we was talking about that in District 1, you know, meeting the other day, where they were talking about how parents are really not engaging, and you know, we discussed about it, and you know, with this, how everything's been going, it's a toll. You know, you have parents that don't want to do it, or they like, okay, listen, why you're forcing me to do something where I don't want to do it, you know. And you have the ones that are like, all right, I'm working, but this doesn't work, I have this. So it's like you have to figure out what to do besides, sorry, my husband's bothering me. So, you know, you just gotta, you know, try to bring it out there in a sense. Cause, you know, a lot of parents, you know, even me, I'm like, okay, seriously, 5 o'clock, what? I just had a meeting the other day, you know? So it takes a toll, you know?
And we're definitely going to be using the countdown graphics, right? On Dojo, counting down and all that stuff.
Yeah, so if you look over here where I'm sharing now, this is the one that we shared today, 5 days out. I just took the graphics that they had, and then I took cool images I found online, and I just made these. 3 days out, 2 days out,
nice,
1 day out. And then I think the key is like Marina, like you're saying, is like finding this balance where we're trying to engage parents, but we're not pressuring anyone or making anyone feel bad or guilty that they can't participate at a certain level. So it's like, if we can just, especially since we have that cool technology of Class Dojo, really utilize and pivot off of that thing. And you know, because a lot of parents, even if they don't like the post, it's still like, when we put out that post today, I think it got nearly 200 views. So everyone's looking at it. Whether they like it and click through is another question, but they're on there on Class Dojo. So like, if we're putting out a daily post and we're mixing it up with not just putting these images, but doing like raffle drawings and sharing videos. There's also, Scholastic has like quick, like 15-second videos of like the top books in Scholastic Book Fair right now. Like, we can share that video, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna kill these cats. So yeah, so on the outreach end, I think that's our best strategy, is to kind of like post daily on Class Dojo something new, and then advertising initially on the email listserv with Jody and Darlene's help, and then doing this pep rally scavenger hunt kind of thing. to kind of launch.
Like for promotion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also add in there too, you know, like having parents and post, you know, putting the link for parents to be able to share the link with friends and family members. And then there's a graphic also that we could use to post on our, whoever wants to do it, to personal social media accounts to promote, you know, more like self, like that it sells itself kind of thing. You just post an image and say what, you know, the books are going for towards or whatever. I think that would be good too. Outside of the internal stuff, we can then promote a little bit more externally.
Word. So, is anyone available to draft up what like an email that we can ask Darlene to share? Kind of talking about what our book fair is, using some of the language that we've already used in the Class Dojo post, but then adding what we're raising money for, and then adding these encouraging tips on how to share the image on people's personal social media. So like an email that we can, usually what we've done in the past is called a principal's letter. Scholastic Book Fair has this thing as a principal's letter, and it's a letter from the principal appealing to parents to participate in stuff like that. But maybe we can draft it, shoot it to Darlene for review, and then she can send it out to the parents. Anybody available to draft something like that over the weekend?
I'm certainly happy to, but if someone would rather do that, happy to not.
maybe we could work on it like a few people collectively, so it's not one person. So like we could all like write pieces and then pull it together, and one person can pull it together. I'm down to do that, you know. I'm down to help write.
Sean, are you saying that there is like a form letter from Scholastic already? It's just like not, it doesn't have like all this information in it, or is it like starting from nothing?
Yeah, I can shoot, if the two of y'all want to work on it, I can shoot y'all the president letter, which is a pre-formatted thing with some pre-formatted language that we can then just work from there. And then maybe the two of y'all can work on it, just going back and forth maybe on email or something like that with ideas and drafting it up. It doesn't, you know, it shouldn't be too long because, you know, we have attention spans these days of like 30 seconds. So something that's
one
just
or two paragraphs, something.
Yes.
Point. I had a thought, and I know because they don't have a theme, but because we're like in Valentine's Day season, like right at the beginning, I saw the dates. The last day is Valentine's Day of the book fair. Maybe the theme is like give the gift of love with a book. And so support and show your love or show your care or appreciation by giving the gift of love by buying a book or something like that. I think that would be really nice. Also, since we're not doing any Candygram and things like that, so it kind of ties it in. Usually a Candygram is around Valentine's Day.
Yeah, definitely. At the last general PTA meeting, that's exactly what was proposed, that it be, you know, revive the love of reading or love a book or something like that, or show love to a friend purchasing the book. So yeah, so maybe we can work that into the language. And then as I make the marketing material for the actual post I go up on the days that the book fair is happening, I can keep that in mind, trying to get some more loved theme stuff in there. All right, perfect. So I just want to move us along quickly because we've been on for an hour. I wanted to see if we can end fairly soon, and we can. We should have a follow-up meeting next week, if possible, but it would be much shorter. It would be like a 20 to 30-minute check-in, as we maybe like the day that we launched the book fair or something like that. So the only other things that on this agenda that we wanted to go over is do we think we have the capacity, or is there a way that we can on Class Dojo provide technical support for parents during the fair? So there's some issue, you know, people might have some like run into some issues like, oh, I don't know how to log into the website. What we've talked about at PTA meetings is like possibly like getting PTA members to volunteer to help follow up with parents who might be having some technical issues. So like getting on the phone with somebody and walking them through how to set up an e-wallet, getting on the phone with someone who only speaks Spanish and is maybe having some language barriers accessing it. It's a big ask of us, but I wonder how people feel if they think that that's something that we would want to take on.
For the e-wallet and stuff, yeah, because I do know some parents that, you know, are a little not tech savvy and they call me. I mean, I even got my own parents that do it. So, you know, that right there will, you know, will be good. Another thing is too, is that do we have like parents' emails and all that? Because I know in my daughter's school, they set up like a group thing where we have their emails, and like literally every time I got like fundraising, like right now they're doing candy grams. And then last time they were doing clothes and stuff like that. So, I mean, that could be another thing, like set up a group, send like, oh, it's your email. We're, you know, something out there. So it's not just only on Class Dojo, because I know a lot of people don't really pay attention to Class Dojo as frequently. So, you know, that, then you do got Facebook, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, like I said earlier, our email listserv is very small. Our PTA email listserv, we only have around 25 people on it. The school has a bigger listserv that they started collecting as the whole pandemic was coming on. But it's not something that we want to solicit on. So we have to really talk to Jody and Darlene and see what they're comfortable with us doing and sharing on that listserv. So I think it's going to be very limited. That's why we're saying maybe that initial email and maybe a follow-up email in the middle of the book fair, but it's not something that we can blast regularly. We should, though, as a PTA, this is a separate topic. We should put out a call to parents to join our listserv, because we've talked about ideas of doing like a weekly update or, you know, promoting upcoming events, but that's a whole separate conversation that we need to build up a listserv to do. So really the only marketing avenues that we have right now are word of mouth and Class Dojo, because email, we have limited email addresses, and Facebook, almost no one goes to our Facebook page. We literally get like 1 view a month on our Facebook page. The website, we can put on the website, like Jenny was saying, I'm one of the website managers for the Star Academy website. So I can go in there and I can add in the book fair for sure, but it doesn't get that much traffic either. So Class Dojo is really like our strongest form of outreach. But on the tech support question, it really is our group, our committee. Do we feel like we can, if I say, hey, send out an email to anybody, hey, we got a parent who has a technical issue. Anybody available again on a call tonight for like 10 minutes to check in with them? Is that something like I feel like you do?
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I'm not too tech savvy. I could probably manage my way around interface, but like if I set up an e-wallet, I could like specifically write down what I clicked on, how I did it, who I add, you know, this, that, and the third. So if it ever comes up, we could talk, or we could actually just put it on there. Anybody having issues with setting this up, this, that, and the third. But as of Spanish, my Spanish is not very good looking. So we're going to have fun with that. But I mean, after a certain time, because I do get out like my remote days after 4, and then my normal days would be after like 5 p.m. because I get in the door about 5 to 6.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's going to be too many people too. It'll probably be like on our Class Dojo post, we put, hey, if you have any questions, you have any technical issues, feel free to reach out to us and we'll follow up with you. And then I would just like hit the 5 of us up and be like, hey, is anybody available today or tomorrow to contact this person on X, Y, and Z? So if people think that's a good idea, we can just have that.
Yeah. So are we unofficially the official Scholastic committee?
Yeah, this is the Scholastic Book Fair Committee. It's official. Okay. It's not unofficial. It's official.
Oh, I just say, because I was like, okay, I'll just jump on, and you know, I wasn't like, yeah, but so I was just like, wait, I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, we tricked you. We trapped you.
Yeah, I got tricked. I know why you tricked me. We're gonna talk about that later.
I was like, you could come on if you want. No big deal.
I was like, you know, I'm remote. I freed up my Friday, so you know, I have time for a lot of stuff on Friday.
Nice. All right. So yeah. So all right. So I think it's something that we can manage as we go through it, and if it gets too much, we can just figure it out at that point. So yeah. So the two things that I think are pending are the thing that Jenny and Liz are going to draft, the email that we're going to send to parents, kind of like our launching of the book fair email that Jenny and Liz are going to put together. I'm going to work on some more of the marketing graphics that we can use throughout the book fair. And then next week, we're going to need some support on the Wednesday night call with Mrs. Darlene. Is anybody available at 5 p.m. next Wednesday?
I'm available.
I should be, but if anybody else is available.
Yeah, Wednesday is a remote day, so I'm definitely available after 5 p.m.
Okay, cool. So a couple of us will be on there. And the last thing is on Tuesday, we have our general PTA meeting. There's going to be a Scholastic Book Fair Committee report. Someone other than me should probably do that report because I talk way too much in this PTA meetings. Does any of y'all want to do the report at our general meeting? Just a quick overview of the stuff that we discussed today. We'll send out notes, so just kind of reviewing the notes. So that's Tuesday at 5 p.m.
I don't mind.
I'm like,
Marina, no takers?
even her
You
cat's
got the same look that your cat has.
It's like, nah.
I would say yes and no, but then there's times that I will forget and then I get dumbified and then I'd be like, then I'm on the spot and then I get flushed and then I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm stressed out.
Just read a script. Just read the script.
I mean, we could do that and read the script. I could try, you know, but then you're talking about recording. So
Forget about it.
All right. So between Marina and Brenda, we'll figure it out when y'all can do the report back, or y'all can do it together. Y'all can tag team it. So like if you get a little brain fart, well, what I'm forgetting?
Are we translating this stuff into Spanish? That's my question. Or is there they have the ability to translate?
I gotta look. I can't imagine that they don't have Spanish language stuff. It's so weird. Scholastic, I feel like it's such a big operation. They should have it.
Or at least our flyer translate into Spanish so that you're sending it to the whole listserv. We need it in Spanish and English.
I remember one of the PTA meetings. I think it was like 2 to 4 general language, and I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it's Arabic, Spanish, English, and then something else that I'm not too sure. Because when I go to take the kids normally on a Friday, the QRC code to do it for the health check is in different languages. So I think it would be like at least 4 different languages we would have to translate. But then again, everybody most likely does read English, so I'm not too sure.
I think the other main language and STAR is a lot of Spanish speaking, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'll look on the Scholastic website and see if they have any Spanish or Cantonese kind of translations and stuff like that. We've talked about in the past that Spanish is probably the one that we should always have, because it's like, I think the percentage of Spanish speaking parents is pretty significant. It's like a minority of the percentage, but it's like 25%, you know, like first language Spanish speakers. While Cantonese and Arabic and all those, I think are a smaller percentage. Not that they're any less important, of course, but I'm just saying if we're thinking about like what we have the capacity to do. So yeah, maybe for the image that will be shared with Liz's and Jenny's email that we're promoting on social media, maybe I can try to find a Spanish version, or we can try to make a Spanish version. That's a good idea. All right, cool. So are people down to do a quick check-in next week? Like if we have this 5 p.m. thing with Ms. Cameron next Wednesday, maybe we could, because it should be only from 5 to 5:30, maybe we can, after it's done, if people are available, we can stay together on the call and have our check-in then, like a little 15-20 minute committee check-in at like 5:30 next Wednesday. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Brenda, you took notes, right? I recorded.
Oh, well, I did. They're like jumbled because, you know, you go back and forth. So yeah, I write it and then I gotta organize it. I'll send it out.
So we were joking, it's an inside joke.
Yeah.
So Brenda's the secretary on the PTA. And so the secretary is supposed to take the minutes and share them. And like, it's been a couple months that she's been in that position. And I was like,
a couple months.
She was like, yo, you didn't get the email I sent? I'm like, what email? Finally today, 4 months after she got voted in position, we realized she's been sending it to the wrong email. So I was just kind of like, damn, Brenda's not sending the minutes. Like, I feel bad.
But he's never told me I'm not doing my job and sending him the stuff he needs. And so today, when we had our Like Touch, and I'm like, Sean, you didn't get the email? Look, I'm showing it to you live. Like, I sent it 3-4 different times. But then Marina didn't notice either. Like, you don't send nothing out, Brenda. So I'm just like, so I
say it through the chat, like I haven't got anything.
Exactly. But I just sent out 3 emails and I was like, okay, let me make sure this is the right one. And I'm like, I apologize, because I didn't want anybody feeling like I'm not communicating with anybody. But the one person that has been responsive that I noticed when I sent is Miss Cameron. So I'm putting the wrong email, but adding Miss Cameron. So I was like, no, Sean, I have proof. Look, Miss Cameron always responds to me. So going forward.
She was sending it to this generic email that we have for the PTA. And I looked in it today and it was like 20 unread messages from Brenda. I'm like, oh, now we know. So in any case, so we'll get notes together. We'll shoot it out. And then I'll get you, Liz and Jenny, the principal's letter so that I can start drafting on that this weekend. Cool.
Yay.
Any other questions or thoughts?
I'm just on the Scholastic website. They have some cool stuff here that they also added. This last thing before we go, virtual author visits. So we can use our Scholastic dollars to purchase virtual author visits. So the kids can pick their favorite author. They'll send all the books and all the tools, 30 minutes, and they'll read to them virtually.
That's cool.
That'd be good with all those like scary. I don't remember which books the kids were into last year, but it was like one section like they just all like bombarded when they came in, especially the older grades. So that would be really, really nice.
It says the book, it says the Scholastic, the unique provision carries over book fair customers and includes a package of 150 paperback books or 75 hardcover books. So we should do some investigation with that because that would be that's pretty cool.
Do they have the authors listed?
Yeah, they just added more authors. So
I wonder if they have like Dave Pilkey or whatever.
I don't know.
The Dogman author, like people like that.
They've added over hundreds of new 30-minute sessions to their fall catalog for the virtual reading.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, cool. So more stuff to think about.
You get books with it too, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. All right, cool. All right, so let's end it because we're
all right.
15 minutes over. So we'll shoot everything around an email. I'll see everyone next Wednesday.
Yes. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Let me stop the recording.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh, I was recording. What are you gonna say?